Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crystal Guidance for this month of June. So a crystal reading for the month of June. An interesting crystals call to me for this month in terms of healing, guidance, and wisdom. First, we've got Larimar, then Cobalto Calcite, and then Galena. Very interesting mix here. And I have a feeling this is going to be some powerful guidance for this month. So first, I'm going to tune in with Larimar. Larimar resonates very powerfully with the throat in terms of energy center, but also the soul. It's a deeply, deeply intuitive stone, a stone of the sacred feminine. In crystal therapy, we work a lot with this stone for some of its anti-inflammatory properties on a physical level, energetically speaking, but also in terms of gentleness, compassion, coming deeper into one's authentic truth. So let me tune into Larimar. So right away, I feel that energy. I feel that energy flow into the heart center. And I also feel my energy just in my core, sort of my whole being coming into alignment into that center line of presence and balance and awareness. And then I feel my third eye chakra start to go off. And it's interesting because the message, the guidance that's coming through Larimar for this month is it's encouraging people to focus on their spiritual expansion, to focus on their spiritual expansion, their spiritual awareness, their spiritual selves. This is a month of high magic, where we can really deepen into our psychic abilities, our spiritual abilities, our souls, and our intuition, in terms of it being of service to us, in terms of us deeply surrendering to ourselves, our inner selves, our knowing, to start slipping through the blocks and limiting beliefs that so much of our societal conditioning and our parental conditioning has put in place for us, and to start coming into a deeper place of knowing, of awareness, because what it's saying is there's a lot of flow this month. For people who are willing to surrender to the flow, who are really willing to cultivate a practice of listening to their guidance, listening to their intuition, and following their intuition, you're going to find that this is going to be a month of magical synchronicity, where things just line up, timing works out. But most of all, and this is especially for people who feel like they've got a lot on their plate, a lot of work, a lot of challenge, they're going to find that they move through their days with much greater ease, much greater ease. And so coming again into that place of surrender, which is not about giving up, which is not about giving in, it's not about being a defeatist. It's about really deeply listening to the self and letting go of the resistance that comes up when we think that our mind should be ruling instead of our heart and soul. So that was the message from Larimar. And then with the Cobalto Calcite, just this wonderful, it's a heart center crystal, but it's also a root and sacral center crystal. This is a crystal that's deeply healing emotionally. But interestingly enough, in terms of the theme for this month, there's also a great level of authenticity that we experience within ourselves when we're working with this crystal. And so this is, in crystal therapy, this is a very potent and healing crystal for people who maybe even have fear of listening to their emotions, but have trouble listening to their emotions, have trouble listening to their truths, have trouble connecting with, who they really are, what they feel, what they want in this life. It's kind of like, that question. I mean, what do you really want for yourself? What do you dream for yourself? What do you need for yourself? Sadly, many people are like, I don't even know anymore. I just feel so lost and so mired in everything and da, 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 da. And so this really helps to bring us back into a place of gentle, loving acceptance. First and foremost, in terms of where we are, what we are, who we are, but then secondly, guides us deeper into our emotional truth. And that area can get tricky for some people because, especially if they've been able to stay in situations or even thrive in situations on some level by not listening to themselves because they know deep down inside it's not right, it's not in alignment. Definitely, as you start to work with this stone, that's going to shift for you, but it's going to shift in positive ways because, again, we're coming into this more heart-centric way of being, which is something that we've been talking about and we've been receiving information about for a while. And you can sort of know this, intellectually or in the form of thought, but embodying it and starting to live from that place, something can get lost in the translation there, right? And it can be really challenging for many of us. And so that's the guidance, that's the message this month, is to allow yourself the truth of your feelings, allow yourself the experience of your feelings, because they're seeking to educate you about yourself, what's working in your life and what's not. And so they can be very powerful guides and healing allies at this time, your emotions. So that's the message from Cobalto Calcite. And then Galena. Galena is a really interesting crystal to come up. It doesn't come up in my workings very often. In crystal therapy, we'll use this a lot at the root chakra, but also the feet and the earth star chakra in energetic detox work, especially in response or recovery from, a lot of EMF exposure. Some people work with this in applications for radioactivity or recovery, from chemo and helping to detox some of that out of the body. But this is also a deep, deep spirit medicine stone in terms of ancestral healing for those who practice various forms of shamanic healing, especially in terms of soul retrieval. This is a stone because, again, it draws us deep down, not just into the earth and helping us to ground and connect with the beneficial energy that rises up from the earth, but also dropping us very, very deep down into ourselves and very deep down into our spirit selves, into our spiritual DNA, our spiritual lineage and history, as well as our physical, DNA and our biological ancestry and history. And there's also something coming through here in terms of dropping us also deeply into soul memory. So now tuning in with the Galena, the spirit and consciousness of Galena. Okay, and so what it's saying is that an invaluable practice for many people this month is earthing, connecting with the earth, connecting with the beneficial frequencies of the earth, because the energy rising up from the earth, deep within the earth, is steadying, it is stabilizing, it is grounding. So many of us have been through upheaval, have been through tremendous change. And some of us still, every day we wake up and there's something new that's being announced, there's something new that's changing, back and forth, et cetera, et cetera. It's been incredibly unsteadying, which then creates feelings of insecurity, anxiety, and a lot of that then creates fear, creates resistance, and it blocks us from really hearing ourselves. And again, there's that theme for this month, really coming into a place of quiet, a place of stillness, a place of sovereignty and power within, where we can hear ourselves and start to navigate through the change, start to rebuild, start to reach structure, move forward, expand, contract, whatever it may be. But again, this thing of earthing, getting really grounded, getting really present, cultivating that connection with the earth. So many people lost themselves in the digital world, especially in the past year and a half. You're being called back to the planet you live on. Hello. Really, please connect with the earth, connect with the earth's consciousness. We are of the earth. And we're having a really detrimental impact in many ways, both individually and collectively, in terms of our disconnect, in terms of our relationship to the earth. But also for anyone who feels like they're having health struggles right now, energy and vitality struggles, maybe they feel they're full of toxins, or maybe, endocrine systems are going, whack, or offline, or whatever it might be. Connecting with this beneficial energy from the earth is really going to support your body, mind, and spirit in the healing it knows to do. And it gives you that healing energy that you need to help support those processes. So whether you connect to that energy through crystals, Galena is an example, healer's gold, magnetite, black androdite, garnet. There's some other crystals that I recommended and mentioned in a blog, and also a video I did recently on, how our root centers are evolving and how to balance and adjust to that new energy. So work with that, or just go outside, bare feet on the ground, on the earth, stand there for a bit, consciously connect, feel that energy cycle that forms. It's extremely nurturing and beneficial, and it's natural. It's part of how, nature's healing impulse rises up through our body and supports us. So that's the crystal guidance for June. That's the crystal information, the healing information. For those of you for whom this resonated, I hope that that's of service to you. Allow yourself to come into greater power, ease, synchronicity, joy. And for those of you who are feeling called to work with these incredible stones, their energy, their spirit, their consciousness, in a much deeper and more advanced way therapeutically, my Pro Crystal Healer program is currently open for enrollment. It's the only time it's going to be open this year because it's a lot of work for me. I invest very deeply in my students, email support, group call support. I've now added in one-on-one coaching for people who want that extra level of support through that work, through the transformation that happens in that program, as well as marking all the homework, etc. So this is the only time this year it's opening. So if you feel called to it, click the link in my description or in my bio and check it out, because I'd love to work with you. And sweet blessings to all of you. I'll be back with another video soon.